Hello, everyone. I'm bowing to you with unconditional love to all life everywhere. I left off the video of part one with talking about mantras and spiritual texts and heightening your frequency. The video, my microphone unplugged and it ended the video, so I hope that didn't cause any upset or whatever. It shouldn't, because of your perception of the world and all that I was talking about. My teachings are teaching you that you shouldn't be upset ever. So, because whatever you're upset about has no substance, it's not real, it's illusion. It's an illusory, it's believing in illusions is creating your upset. So, mantras and spiritual texts are very powerful for raising your frequency. Even a simple mantra like I am love, or I am spirit, or I am not this body, I am spirit, or I am grateful, or something like that, heightens your frequency into the realms of love and gratitude and peace and tranquility and joy and all these things. So repeat your mantras, begin a practice of mantras every day, and start reading some spiritual texts. I'll show you some. So the first book I would recommend is called A Course in Miracles. It's a great book. It's actually like a course in that it has a normal reading part of the spirit and ego. It has a mantra section with 365 mantras for one every day of the year, and it has a manual for teachers how to teach peace to people. So this is actually channeled by Helen Schuckman, and Jesus wrote it through her, so it's Jesus's real teachings has come through onto earth, and this is the book that is those teachings. Another book that I would recommend is called Disappearance of the Universe, and this is a book about Gary Renard, the author, and his experiences with angels that come to him in physical form and teach him of the principles of A Course in Miracles and principles of love, basically, or peace. So I would recommend this book for you as well, and it has a lot to do with A Course in Miracles as well. So if you want to have an introduction to A Course in Miracles, then I would recommend this book. It's a really great book. But yeah, mantras and spiritual texts definitely raise your frequency if you know how to use the right ones. And if you're thinking about practicing mantras, pick up A Course in Miracles and practice those mantras, because they are set in a very peculiar way, a very particular way that raises your frequency the best kind of way. So it's in a specific order, it's in specific words, and creates specific understandings for you to have a higher frequency and understand the ultimate truth. Health is another way to raise your frequency. So begin to get out of your cyclical nature, your habits, your bad habits. So your habits might be eating a cheeseburger every like 3 times a week or something. I don't know. It could be that you're not drinking enough water. It could be that you're not exercising, or you're just sitting on the couch all day and not going outside ever. So I would recommend to start exercising, start eating healthier, and each food actually has a frequency to it. So for example, organic vegetables and fruits have a very high life force energy that can be measured with science. So it has chi or prana in it that is very good for you, and it is also good for you to have water in your food. It helps you digest it, and it helps you gain the nutrients from it. So definitely start eating organic fruits and vegetables that are fresh, and stop eating food that is not fresh, and stop eating like meat, for example, can be contaminated with the energy that the animal had in its life. So if it was treated terribly, then it might have a lot of fear and a lot of hatred, or a lot of negative energy locked in it. So if you're going to eat meat, at least bless it. But I would say get your meat from somewhere that it is the animal is treated properly, and you will see the benefits of eating this instead of the meat that's treated terribly. And like things like bread don't have a lot of life force energy in it. But fruits and vegetables have a very high life force in it, which is very healthy for you and helps you raise your frequency as well. And then surround yourself with love. So you need to follow your emotional guidance system. And this is your guidance system from spirit. It's your emotions. And basically how you follow this guidance system is you do what you feel feels good, and you don't do what feels bad. And your guidance system is very difficult to listen to at the beginning of the spiritual journey, because when you're on a very low frequency, things like bad habits and television and hanging out with people that are at a low frequency means fear, it means greed, it means hatred, it means clever, hateful jokes, it means fear and shame and condemning and all these things, the belief in sin, and so if you're hanging out with these people and you're doing these habits, then you're probably doing it because it feels good to you, and that's because you're at a low frequency, and that's okay. And you should accept that, and you should try and feel like, well, I'm at this frequency, and maybe I should try to do something at high frequency. And then you'll do something like go for a walk in nature instead of watch TV, and maybe you'll feel, wow, that felt freeing, it felt liberating, it felt great. And then you'll go back to TV, and then you'll realize, wow, this is not exactly what I want to be doing. And then you'll realize maybe it's because your frequency rose higher. And then you'll go for a walk again, and then this will be your new place where you go for walks instead of watch TV every time you decide to watch. You would normally watch TV, you go for a walk instead. And then maybe this is your new spot, and that's your frequency. And then maybe, going for a walk with friends and sharing spiritual insights is the next thing. And then, you go back here and have a walk by yourself, and you're like, well, maybe that's not as high frequency as sharing what I know and sharing peace to know it, But, you can feel very great alone as well, though, and it's okay to hang out by yourself, but it's you should be repeating mantras when you're by yourself and sharing these insights when you're with people. That's what being on the spiritual path is all about, So I wrote down, surround yourself with love. So do what feels good and don't do what feels bad. And always follow how you feel. It's really that simple. Connect to nature. Why it's important is because it heightens your frequency, and it is our connection to the earth is a very sacred one, because it is who we are. We are part of the earth. We came out of the earth, and its life is love. Its divine expression, its image, which is beauty, is very sacred. At least the part of it that is God is sacred, and sometimes God manifests out of nature. And so the Holy Spirit is manifested out of in nature. If you know what I mean, like the creative force behind nature itself is love. It is not hatred. It is not greed. It is not anything like that. If you think about a tree, what is the life force that grows a tree? It's love. It's really nothing else. So that is why it's great to hang out in nature, is because it's a very high frequency place. It's very free. It's very stimulating to the body. It's very liberating feeling and everything. And then how to connect to nature is basically, get out onto the beach and feel the sand, feel it in your hand, just feel the bliss of that, and interact with it, feel the wind, go swimming in a lake and enjoy yourself, and lay in the sun and let yourself dry from the sun, go snowshoeing, go interact with the snow, go have fun, enjoy yourself. Like, there's many ways to interact with nature, and making bird sounds at the birds, making cat sounds at the cats, and dog sounds at the dogs, and communicating to them, having a love relationship with animals again, like how it's supposed to be. That's it's divine vision that I have for this planet. Don't neglect nature, because it's very, very important, and I hope that I'm inspiring you to change the planet and to sustain nature more. I wrote down openness to communication. So, I wrote down be social. So, it is okay to have some time alone and everything, but I just see this society as being like locked in these boxes. We're all secluded, we're all isolated from each other. We don't have any sense of community and togetherness. And really, like, what we should be doing is like having a fire, like outside with 50 people around it, doing fire spinning and playing music and having a festive time, And we should have that togetherness with each other, instead of this judgment and this fear or this bitterness towards meeting new people. We should, like, if we were all God, if we are all the manifestation of God, if we were the Holy Spirit in these bodies, then we would all know each other. We would all have this sense of, but when we first meet each other, I know you because we are one, and we know the Spirit, and that is what we can connect through and converse through. That's not trivial, is we can talk about Spirit and love, and we can share our affection for each other and enjoy our presence and share our love, So community is great. And I also wanted to open your mind to the idea of extraterrestrials. So you should try and go out in the stars one night. Just go for a walk at night and look up at the stars and just say hello and see if you get an answer back. Because if you say hello to the stars, someone will hear you. There are many enlightened beings that are aware of everyone, and are open to communication and are open to non-judgment and non-prejudice towards human beings. What if a extraterrestrial ship just appeared, like, out of nowhere on Earth? Would you have fear towards that? Or what idea do you have about aliens? Because there are many enlightened societies that could help us, like, maybe it would be a great thing for a ship to come and give us some technologies of or some sciences of ascending and of evolving our society and our Earth. that would be a great thing. But a lot of people just have this idea of like these movies that we've watched, and the television has totally brainwashed us with the idea of aliens taking over the world and sucking up our cows and our human beings into their ships and dissecting them, and all this fearful thoughts and all that. Aliens are not always like that. There are some that are bad, but really it's forgivable because their sin or their evil is not real, and nothing real can be threatened, and nothing unreal exists, and herein lies the peace of God. That's what it says in A Course in Miracles. So, but really there are enlightened aliens or extraterrestrials out there, and they look very different from us. They interact with each other very different from us. But a lot of the things are very similar. And in truth, we all are the same. We are not different from each other, for we are spirit. But they look very different, and if you have any prejudice or racism towards ETs, I suggest that you remove your fears and your bitterness towards them for that, because it's simply a difference, and that is acceptable. So angels as well. You can communicate with angels, which are non-physical beings. And there are some non-physical beings that have never left heaven, ever. And there are some beings that have experienced through the physical dimension a life, and have ascended and have become enlightened and are now known as ascended masters. And that's what their name is in heaven. Is there an ascended master, because they went through the physical world and became enlightened, went through the reincarnation cycle to enlightenment, which is the goal of these lives, by the way. You will never feel fully fulfilled until you become enlightened. There's no other goal that is as magnificent as this. And then I wrote down, angels can help guide you, and so can extraterrestrials. So if you begin communication with them, do a prayer to them and ask them, can you please help me with so-and-so situation? Or, I pray to you for forgiveness. I pray to you to know forgiveness. I pray for peace. I pray for bliss. I pray for help in this life to overcome my addiction, or to overcome my fears, or whatever it might be. Just ask for help, and these beings can help you if you let them, if you give them permission. So continually say to yourself throughout the day, I give beings of complete love and nothing else the permission to help my body, mind, and my consciousness to understand love and to understand how to express that in the world. Say a prayer like that continually through the day, and you'll notice that there are beings helping you through your inspirations, through your creativity, through your expression, through many, many things, and even a voice maybe once in a while, in your mind. I wrote down changing the planet. So, first thing I wrote down in that category is work intention. So what is your intention with your work? Are you destroying the planet, or are you helping the planet? Does it feel good to you, or does it feel bad to you? If your job feels bad to you, you should get a new job. It's that simple. If you're destroying the planet, working at a mill, cutting down trees, polluting the ocean in some way, like working at an oil field, you should really think about getting a job that you're passionate about, something that you can be creative and use your hobbies, or if you have no hobbies, then you should simply get like a job that you don't work a lot, and then spend some time and try to develop some hobbies. Once you develop some hobbies and some things that you love doing, you should try to make some money off of that. And I mean, it's not all about money, but like we all gotta eat, right? So there's no shame in making a living off of sharing spiritual teachings, or sharing art, or sharing music, or whatever it is that's your hobby, that you love doing, that you know is good for the world. If you're a healer, you should use that for your work, and try to change the planet, try to clean the oceans, do something that feels good to you, feels fulfilling to you, you know? So, there is a revolution happening, and there are new energies coming to Earth right now. And basically how these energies work is it's a magnifier of energy. It's a magnifier of frequency. And it amplifies all frequencies. So we're becoming more sensitive to how things feel. This light that's coming, this elongating energies, are washing over the earth at this time, and are making us realize, well, the difference and the contrast between light and darkness. It's showing us, it's magnifying our feelings and our guidance system towards different things, because we're raising in frequency as a planet. And so as a result of raising frequency, we're starting to feel the lower energies are starting to feel worse and worse to us, and the higher energies are feeling better and better to us. So that's why the revolution is happening, is because this light is washing over the world, and this elongating energies. So the enlightenment of the earth is going to happen soon, and it's just a matter of time. It's a matter of love, actually, not a matter of time. It's a matter of realization that we are all love, and that can happen instantly if you really believe it enough, or know it enough, I should say. So jump on the revolution, jump on the train of the revolution, and start doing what you love. Start expressing your art. Start being creative. I am a creative being. I am a healer. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I have a massage and Reiki business I'm just starting out. I'm creating my art, I create art. I'm writing songs and freestyling. I'm trying to start a workshop with one of my friends about spreading spiritual teachings. I have a YouTube channel, obviously. I'm going to start a website. I have a million things I want to do, I want to be a healer. I want to heal the planet. I want to start cleaning the oceans and do stuff like that, and go to, raise money for children in Africa that are starving and don't have the same things that we have, like, I want to help the world. I want to be a healer. I have a great purpose and a great intention for healing this planet, and I know that I will heal it. I know that I can do this. I feel like I have no doubt in myself anymore, and I have confidence that because I've removed my fear towards the consequences of helping, of healing. There are no consequences to love, because all the consequences are simply evil intentions that are not existent and have no power over me, because I'm love. Do you think that evil had power over Jesus? I don't think so, guys. So I just had a dream the other night that said, and Jesus told me that I am like him. So that makes me feel pretty interesting. I don't know. I wrote down be creative. So I already talked about that. So, and then I want to talk about manifestation. This is the last thing that I'm going to talk about. So, we are manifesting in this world. Like I did talk about how the world is an illusion, and how fear and hatred and guilt and shame and the ego is an illusion. And the ego is simply your connection to believing that you are a body and that you are the victim, and all these things, and that your body, or your body is creating your mind, or your experiences that you have through the body is creating your mind. It's being created by external forces that are creating you. and you're a product on a shelf, basically, if you believe that. But the real reality of it is that the mind is creating the body and its experiences. So that's Spirit's belief, the Holy Spirit's belief about the body and everything. So simply correct your mistakes in the ego mind, and you will become healthy. Your body will become healthy and will flourish, will thrive. So I want to talk about manifestation, right? So the world is not real, but we still have to know how to respond to the images in the world to heal the people that are, or to heal the beings that are believing in illusions. Because we are here to communicate to illusions, basically, or bodies, to tell them that their real nature is in spirit, and that we are meant to, that spirit is our natural home, and that love is our natural home, and that is the power that permeates the whole existence and maintains it and keeps everything going and keeps everything perfect. Because love does not hurt, love does not feel bad, ever. That's not what love is. Love is perfect. There's nothing else that is perfect but love, actually. So manifestation from love is a very powerful thing. And manifestation from hatred and fear is a very powerful thing too. It is equally as powerful, but it's simply that if you're creating with hatred and fear, you're miscreating, you're creating what you don't want. And when you manifest things from your fears and your hate, you are actually wanting to manifest these things by feeling fear and hate. Say you manifest a bear that's very aggressive when you're walking through a trail or something because you feel fear and hatred. You manifest this bear. You are actually wanting that bear to show up and be aggressive to you because you are feeling guilt and shame and hate and fear. So that is how the universe's laws work. How you feel within yourself and your passionate thoughts, your passionate emotion towards your thoughts are creative in the world. And this is happening all the time with no exception. It is always this way. Everything is being manifested from within. And we are very powerful creative gods in this way. And then you can manifest from love though as well, and you will get what you want and what you truly want, and you will create instead of miscreate. So there's kind of an art to manifestation. You have to, for example, if you want a new house that's at a new higher frequency place and environment, you have to actually tap into the feeling that having that house and that place of high frequency makes you feel. So you have to feel happy, you have to feel grateful in order to get that house in the first place. You can't actually just feel like, you know, if you feel shitty about the situation you're in right now when you're trying to get to a better place, it won't work. You have to feel good where you are to find a better place. And you can actually manifest like a new house while feeling bad, but you won't enjoy the new place if you feel bad. So there are exceptions here. But if you want to enjoy somewhere of high frequency, then you have to be at a high frequency to meet and be like a magnet to each other, so that you'll link up with that high frequency place or experience and everything. And that's how you manifest. You have to tap into the feeling of what you are trying to manifest it. And gratitude is elixir for manifestation. every experience that you have is manifested from the mind, and not it doesn't just happen. You are manifesting every experience in your life that you will ever have, and that is just a simple truth. So try and stay conscious and create, consciously create instead of unconsciously create, because you're reaping the seeds. You know, you're harvesting the crop of the seeds that you plant and everything. And if you're planting poisonous seeds, then you will get that in the harvest. And if you're planting fruits and vegetables organically and healthy and everything, then you will get to eat those. You're creating these fruits and these vegetables and everything with your mind, and your attention is creative as well, and your intention. And that's how you create, is your attention towards what you want or what you have that is good, and then your intention with what you will do with what you want, and then your emotion towards how you feel when you have what you want, and then your thoughts of what your thoughts will be when you have that thing. And all these elements, if you do a meditation on something like that, you could manifest something. But manifestation isn't what it's all about, because this world isn't real. It has no substance to it. So why would you try and manifest money or manifest things? You're really trying to manifest like greater relationships and a greater experience. So really, manifestation is not as important as you might think it is. Really, the teaching that you should walk away from this video with is forgiveness, and realizing that everyone is innocent and everyone is love, and that love is all that is and all else is illusion. Try and live in the spirit world, experience it for yourself, what the light is like. And yeah, that's all I really have to talk about today. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I love you all very deeply from the bottom of my heart. I'm Thoth, and I'm gonna say unconditional love to all life everywhere. Sending you heart, love, and energy. Alright, peace out. I hope you guys enjoyed.